Right, what am I doing here? Well, I'm out testing the Cyansky HS6R, which is a headlamp which I want to look at for a while. And as you can see, I'm going to turn around here. Very dark here, there's no light. So we'll turn into the wind and we'll walk a little bit. So I'll turn it on momentarily. So what I'll do is, it's got some main modes. In fact, I'll go to the main modes first. So there's your main beam. Bush, that's your main beam on its lowest. So not a lot going on there, is there? But it's quite special, this, because it's got a main beam mode, which is using an SST40. Very nice bit of throw on that, and there is, but that's quite a tight beam, isn't it? But then you'd want that with a throw. And then to either side of that, you have the SST20s, which provide a more floody light, so quite interesting. And you can use them both at the same time, so you can have this main beam on, and I'll show you later, and the two side lights, which sort of fills in at close range, obviously not at extreme range, but at close range it fills in that peripheral vision, which is quite interesting. So I've been having a fun testing this. So we'll move up. So that's the lowest. There's medium on the main beam. Not bad, eh? Let's see if it stretches out. There, you see, it's stretching right all the way down there. That's not bad. Let's turn around a little bit. See if we can see down at that river. Probably not, because there's quite thick plants here. No, there's thick plants. We'll move along. So that's medium, and then we'll go up another level. There's high. That's pretty good. Now, did you see how that's filling in the peripheral there, just from the extreme brightness there? To be fair though, this tops out of 1400 lumens. Not massive in today's market, but then it's an 18650, so your cell's going to last longer, isn't it? But that's pretty good, extreme range there. So okay, so let's go back down again. Then that's turbo, that's the highest setting, so that should top out around 1400 lumens. Pretty impressive, not bad. A little bit green, but to be fair, a lot of what I'm looking at is a bit green and mouldy because it's the winter here. But you've got that extreme sort of hot spot there, haven't you? But because of the brightness, see it there? I'm recording this in 4K and full HDR, so you should get the full colour gamut. Although I don't think this is a high CRI light. Like I said, these are just early thoughts. It's an IPX8, which is brilliant to see. I'm quite impressed with the Cyansky stuff. I mean, that hasn't even stepped down. We'll try the auxiliaries, so we'll turn that off. So the auxiliary light has a separate button. So, right, that's the lowest. So you can hardly see. Can you see the ground there? So that's the lowest. Quite nice colour reproduction there. Doesn't look particularly green or silly or anything like that. So that's using two sets of SST20s. Very nice. But range poor, obviously. But that's not what that's for. It's for close-up stuff and cooking and things like that. So that's the low, and then you have a medium. So that's medium on these floody beams. Pretty good, look. But as you can see, it floods it out, but you're not getting a lot of range, are you? But nice. And again, you can use that whilst you're using the main beam, which is a nice little feature. So let's see how far this can see down towards the river. Yeah, I mean, not amazing, but you're not sipping a lot of juice when you're using this, so that's the whole point. And then we'll go to the high version of that. So that's pretty good. High, I mean, look at that. It's going right the other side of that river there. And it's not too glary. I quite like it, although there's not a lot of wet around here. It is damp, but it's not wet. There's not many reflective surfaces. But I am in total darkness here, so pretty decent. And like I say, you can use both at the same time. So if we turn them off, and then we turn the main beam back on, so there's the main beam, we'll go to the lowest level. That's the lowest level of the main beam. Now watch, I can also turn on the SST20s, so we'll do that. There, you see that? And then we can move the main beam up and down. You see it in the middle there? So low, medium, high, turbo. So that's all them on. That's main beam, turbo, and the high level on the sides. So can you see how it's filling in the gaps there, so to speak? Although to be fair, on the turbo mode, it was pretty impressive. I've done some walking on this, and I thought if you had them all on, so you've got 3 LEDs on at the same time, I thought this is going to cripple it. But quite conservative output, so I didn't notice any step downs. Although it's probably around 4 degrees Celsius where I am at the moment because it is winter. But look at that, that's pretty nice. Like I say, a little bit green to the eye, but it doesn't look quite like that on camera. What we'll do is we'll walk a bit. I'll go back to the main beam because I want to show you that stretch out. So if we turn off the auxiliaries, that's the auxiliaries. There's a red light mode actually, which I didn't even show you. So we'll turn the auxiliaries on there. So there's red light mode. Obviously it's not pushing out, is it? But if I go towards the floor, there you can see the floor, and there's my hand. quite a nice red light. I was testing the Cyansky keychain light, and I was impressed with that as well. It had a red light mode that actually damn worked. A lot of these cheap eBay specials with the red light modes, they're so poor. I would never be able to cook or walk by them. I could just walk by this. See, look, you can see my feet. See, there's my dirty feet. So, you know, not bad, not bad. And it does have a flash mode, but I would only use that in an emergency. So we'll turn that off and go back to the main beam. So there's the main beam. So very interesting. And it's got memory mode, so that'll be back on turbo, or at least it'll be high. So pretty good. What we'll do is we'll come through here and I'll show you some other lights. So if you capture in your mind what you've just seen there, and we'll compare it. So we'll come along here. I keep hearing owls. Okay, so that stretches out a little bit. We've got some bricks there we can look at for colours and things. Okay, so let's look down there. Right, so if you remember, turn that off, and then we'll go back to the, so low, medium, high. That's your auxiliaries, they're the SST20s. So imagine what that looks like. Turn that off, go back to the main beam. So there's your main beam. So very tight, but that's the whole point of the main beam. It's trying to get a bit of throw. It's using the SST40s. So USB rechargeable, 18650, 2 meter drop rating, excellent. IPX8, very, very nice. Don't know if it works whilst charging, don't know that yet. These are very early results I'm getting here. But we'll try it with some other lights, so let's turn that off. So I'll put that in my back pocket. Now I'm putting them in my back pocket these days so I can feel when they're still on, because I've burnt another coat. It's getting silly now, I'm burning multiple coat pockets. Right, so what's this one? This is the H1 by Woburn, I think. Turn that on, yeah, H1 by Woburn. Now this does have an auxiliary, but it's very low, but I just want to show you the beams so you can compare them. So I was very impressed with this. Very similar to the HC65 V1, not the V2, the new one, but very, very good. Looks basically the same, but cheaper. So there's all its modes: low, medium, high, turbo, low, medium, high, turbo. So I'm just trying to show you so you can calibrate in your own mind's eye, if you own any of these lights, what the difference is going to be. So that's the H1, turn that off. Well, try and turn it off, it's still on there. See, that's why I burn my pockets. Next one I'm testing it against. If I can get out the damn pocket, do apologise, I'm doing this sort of one-handed more or less. This feels like the SP40, I think, which I like. Right, it is, it's the SP40 from Sofa, a budget light, but very, very capable. Yeah, that's its max output there. So it's an orange peel reflector, so you get a nice bit of throw for quite a low output in comparison to some of the other high ones, but it's pretty decent. Maybe there's a tad green there, but it's not bad. Let's have a look down on these bricks. See, they're a little bit greenish, but I still think as a budget light, this is exceptional, so very, very good. But obviously, it's not matching the feature set of the Cyansky, is it? So turn that off, boom. I quite like that little green light on it there, although it's sometimes on when it's running. I'm not sure who's supposed to see that, because I can't see it when it's running. Okay, pop that away. Next one I compared it to was the Luminite. Very expensive light, but there's something about the beam I really like. It's hard to explain. So that's it there, and it's got like a strange ramp when you go between modes and stuff. It's quite nice. The O-lights have that as well. So let's turn it on. There's a turbo. Huge TIR on this. Nice high output. That looks brilliant, doesn't it? I do like the Luminite, and what I liked most about it was the fact that it never seemed to step down. I liked the beam, and more importantly, it had that metal clip, so it didn't fall to bits and snap all the time. Because if you remember, my Army Tech snapped and I had to send that back. In fact, I showed that in one of my reviews. I think it might have been the Luminite HL3A. I actually showed it snapping, but because I like to keep the honest stuff in, you know. So there's the Luminite, very impressive, but very, very expensive. So let's turn that off. Boom, that's off. And I also tested it against, well, tonight anyway, I tested it against, this is the HL3A by Lumentop. So there's it on its lowest. There's turbo. Triple emitter, very nice though. Lovely tint on this, lovely tint, very, very nice. Very sort of between neutral and warm. I really like it. Look at it on them bricks. Looks too bright to see them. See the reds? Picking out some of those browns quite nicely. I really like this. I don't think I've ever had a bad Lumentop. I had someone on the channel saying they're rubbish, they're overrated. Well, the ones are, you know, it depends based on what how they're overrated. Stick that in the comments if you're that person. Stick it in the comments, because maybe I'm misrepresenting you here. But that's pretty impressive. But this, see that step down there. So how was that, 30 seconds? So there's a step down, but to be fair, that's a lot of output for an 18650 in a very small form factor. So I'll let them off on that one. And I've also been comparing it against the HC65 V2, so that's the new version of the HC65 from Nightcore. Get that turned on. There's turbo, boom, look at that. Very nice. I was very, very impressed with this. I found, apart from the fact that you can't quickly get to some modes, I found it extremely difficult to mark this down. I really like this light. I've used it a lot. So very nice. Maybe there's a little bit of green there, tiny bit, but that's not really what this light's for. It's for features and a nice floody beam and high turbo. So what we'll do is we'll turn around, and then what I'll do is, in fact, can you see the moon over there? Look how bright that is. See that dot there? That is the moon. Hang on, if I can focus on it. That's the moon there. Very, very bright. So we'll put that away, and I'll put the Cyansky back on, because I've waffled quite long enough, I think. Let's get that back on. So like I say, IPX8, lovely. 2 meter drop rating, lovely. Metal construction. It's got metal strips which allow the rotation. You can't take it out, it's not 90 degree. So we'll turn it on there. There you go. Wait, did you hear that? That sounds like a bird leaving the trees there. So if you're ever out walking and you hear that noise, you'll know it's not a mass murderer. So we'll go through the modes there. So there's the lowest. You can hardly see that. It's lowest auxiliary using the SST20s. Then the medium on the SST20s, auxiliaries. I call them auxiliaries, but they're the floody ones. And then high. I think that's pretty nice. I could walk by that, no problem. And then we can turn them off and go to the main beam. But remember, you can use those and the main beam. So that's main beam lowest. Not that useful. Medium, pretty good. Let's see if that stretches out. High. In fact, I want to see if I can get down to this water. Just had another bird fly off there. So you can see down that river there, nice. Is that turbo? I think that's turbo. Very nice. That will go down the water. If I can try not to fall flat on my backside. So here we go. Because sometimes it's interesting to see what these look like looking in the water. Also is, let's see if there's any fish. If it was a bit more quiet, I might have seen some. Because fish aren't daft. I can't see any there. Sometimes you can catch them kipping in the night. So very nice. So low, medium, high. Turbo, low, and then you can put the auxiliaries back on. So there's the auxiliaries on, auxiliaries off, auxiliaries on. So very interesting. You can go through all the modes. You can even have red light mode on with the main beam as well. And then you can go up the main beam there. So you see in the middle. Isn't that interesting? Main beam. Low, medium, high, turbo. So nice, very impressed with it so far, especially for the fact that it doesn't seem to step down all the time. I'm a big fan of that. USB charging, great. I just hope that it's Type C and it's power delivery, but I think they've done a good job. Really, I've waffled quite long enough because this is supposed to be an early thoughts, but I like to show you what I'm up to because people do enjoy. And people keep saying on the channel they prefer the outdoor stuff like this instead of me waffling in the house, which, yeah, fair enough, because you want to actually see these things in action. You know, you can see all the way at that bridge there. Look at that. Very impressed with it. On paper, I was like, it seems okay, yeah. I wasn't over the top. But now I've seen it, I'm very impressed. Really, really good. They've done a good job, Cyansky. And I'm just feeling it here. It doesn't feel that hot. But again, listen. Metal construction, really good. That's what I like. Nice metal lights that you can rely on. Good drop rating. Brilliant. Anyway, so thanks for joining me. I'll get a full review when I have time, but I've been really busy recently and I keep getting bombarded. I'm supposed to be looking at another Lumen top, another Astrolux, another Sofern, and people. It's terrible to be popular, put it that way. But like I say, I'm only dealing with the companies who I trust basically at the minute, because some of them, I keep getting companies saying, would you want to review this? It's got to be a good review though. Well, no, delete, next. You know, I don't want that on this channel because people aren't stupid. They would see that straight away, and that's not the sort of person I am. I'm not interested in doing that. I want to look at good lights, or if it's crap, I'll pick it a bit and explain why it's crap. And you can make up your own decision on that and buy stuff you actually want to buy and enjoy. Nothing pleases me more than when someone says, I bought something you recommended and I love it. You know, I bloody love that. That's fantastic. That's music to my ears. Anyway, I've waffled enough. I'm off into the night, so I'll show you how dark it is. Watch, we'll turn this off. That's the main beam off. That's the auxiliaries off. Oh, well, not really. There. Now the main beam's off. Talk about flashlight expert, I'm obviously not. Anyway, good night.